This Saturday, get ready for 4 game-changing webinars that could transform your money, mindset and future. 10 a.m. we have 1 crore lump sum strategy webinar. Ria had savings but kept waiting for the right time to invest. One decision could have fast-tracked her to 1 crore, but she missed out. Don't make the same mistake. Learn how a one-time investment can take you to 1 crore faster. Join us on this webinar. 11 a.m. we have Knowing Your Potential. Arjun always thought wealth was just for the lucky ones until he discovered the key engines of financial success. What if you are sitting on untapped potential? Unlock the secrets to accelerating your wealth. Register now. At 11 a.m. we have another webinar, The Future of Fashion, Thrifting and Rentals. Indian weddings mean lavish spending, but Gen Z is rewriting the rules. Sustainable budget-friendly fashion is taking over. Are you ready for the shift? Register for this webinar. At 12 p.m. we have Secret Budgeting and Investing Hacks. Neha earned well, but had nothing left at the end of the month. Then she found the formula to make her money work for her. And you can too. Master smart money management and make every rupee count. Don't miss this. And this webinar is exclusive for women. 4 power packed sessions, 1 unmissable Saturday. Limited seats, so register now.
In this episode of Talking Straight with Subramanyam, we are going to go deep into the mutual fund space and into how personal finance should see mutual funds. The last couple of years have seen a growing surge in index investing. I believe it is largely driven by the platforms and influencers, and it is also driven by people who have not quite understood active investing. Not all active investing is meant to succeed. We have millions of active investors. We are all active investors. Anyone who has a demat account and a stock portfolio is an active investor. And if you have millions of active investors, the number of active investors succeeding in active investing is bound to be a fraction, probably a small fraction. Similarly, you have a very large number of active fund managers, and it is likely that a very small number of active fund managers are going to do exceptionally well. The argument against active investing is that you cannot find this small number of fund managers. My experience is that you can unfailingly find them. You need expertise to study who has built a better portfolio. It is as simple as that. Why is the industry that is so vehemently pushing indexing unable to do it? It is unable to do it simply because it has nothing beyond analyzing past performance and a bunch of ratios to evaluate a good fund. Portfolio analysis for this crowd is like a short ball to Suresh Raina. And since they cannot play that short ball, they find it easier to continuously harp on indexing. Is index really a good portfolio? That is the question you must ask. In my opinion, an index is likely to be a poorer portfolio than what most average active managers can create. Even an average active manager can create a better portfolio than the index. And in the long run, he is bound to beat it. So this whole movement towards index is inspired by the West and plugged by the platforms. We have also not seen a long, prolonged bear run in indices. So it is very easy to tell people you are getting so much in the recent times and plug that recency bias as a decision driver. Today I'm going to ask Subra what he thinks about index investing. My view is there can be a better way. Let's see what Subra has got to say.
Indexing, if you believe in indexing, you cannot say I believe in indexing in India. You have to believe in world indexing. So you have to invest in a world index, not only in an India index. That's not fair that you invest only in an India index. When you invest in the world index, India may be 3-4%. That's what it is. Only then you can say you believe in indexing. Second, I don't know of any value investor or any investor in India who believes in indexing, because when you say you believe in indexing, you have to be only in the index. Now, for example, I am an active investor, but I have also invested in World Index, which is the World Developed Market Index. I have invested in that. Now I can't invest because of RBI restrictions. Otherwise, I believed this is a good way to invest in around the world where I don't have any great skills of how to pick stocks. So in a market where I don't know how to pick stocks, I would rather index. But in a market where I think I can pick stocks and I can find fund managers who can pick stocks, I would not index, or I would maybe index 5% or 10% of my portfolio just for some academic reasons, but definitely not, I am not an indexer, let's put it this way, and I don't know any indexer in India, because many Indian investors who invest in an index also invest in an index. If you believe in indexing, you should not have any other investments at all. You should not have any active.
You should have only one investment.
You should have only one investment.
What is this theory that you need only two funds, one good index and one flexi cap?
Why? Then you will underperform, no? Because that flexi cap is underperforming. Technically speaking, you don't believe in that flexi cap. So that flexi cap is actually outperforming. After 3 years, you see that flexi cap is outperforming the index. You might as well stop indexing and put money in flexi cap. But if you think flexi cap is performing better than the index, you put in flexi cap. If you think index is performing better than flexi cap, you put in the index. Why would you want two? If you believe in only two, there is argument for only one.
See, the way I look at this kind of prescription is, it is not intelligent, but it is mere packaging. Like I tell you, you buy two is enough for you. Chances are that if you are unthinking, you will like the idea, right?
True.
Like you have 10 subjects to study, I tell you, you study 2, I will give you pass. You will say, okay, 2 is good.
Yeah.
So it's more of packaging than anything else. And secondly, if you are capable of picking one good flexi cap fund, why not a portfolio of good funds? If you think you can pick one active fund,
correct.
Why can't you pick another 2? Right?
Yeah.
Or another 3?
Yeah.
So, I think that somewhere people are pushing their personal ideology on others without sound reasoning or without sheer investment capability. I mean, if I cannot play a short ball, I can't ask the umpire not to allow the bowler to bowl a short ball. And I can't tell others, don't play a match where the bowler bowls short ball.
Yeah. Or go to the regulator and say ban short balls.
Yeah, sometimes you get that opportunity also. Yeah. But the logic behind that is so flawed that I see incompetency written all over it. I see sheer lack of investment competency, Subra. When you say just 2 funds, buy one index and one flexi cap, my mind says this guy doesn't know investing and he is giving a prescription.
It's like walking into a school and saying, I will address only the average student. Right? I will not invest, I will not address the best, I will not address the worst. But the best and the worst are also part of the portfolio, right? So somewhere you have to address the best, who may be going into IIT or something like that, and also address the worst.
My problem with that school is that students who could be significantly above average students take this prescription, accept that they are average students.
True.
Like if you are capable of scoring 90, your teacher says, hope for 70, that's enough for you.
Correct.
And you, in your respect for your teacher, accept it. The tragedy is on you, it's not on the teacher.
Well, it's on the teacher because in my 5th standard and 7th standard, I believe what the teacher is saying. So, if influencer saying indexing is enough, is not trying to tell you the full story.
There is no story in it actually.
There is no story in it. Like when I started investing in 1979, there was no index. Index funds are also maybe late 90s or 2000 when it started. So it is theory to say what would have happened if you had invested in the index from 1979. It is just theory. So using
You started only, you could only invest in equity. Because otherwise you have to go to
there were no
UTI.
mutual funds.
Otherwise you
Also.
have to go to UTI.
No, UTI had those fixed guaranteed
64.
schemes and things like that. You know, equity portfolio which I could invest in UTI. So I had to invest only in direct
US
equity.
64 you could have bought.
Yeah, but that was like a balanced fund, and nobody knew what was the portfolio. There was no portfolio disclosure. So I'm not even getting
There was no
into.
pure
There was no equity fund. There was no mutual fund on whom you could trust and invest. So that was out. There are so many theories called laggards, which means you go and put money every year in the last 10 of the index that will do well. Then you have hockey stick kind of a performance from PSU stocks, which didn't do anything for 10 years. Then from 2014, 2015, like it's like a change of management. Change of government was like change of management, and suddenly you had hockey stick performance in PSU stocks, which pulled the index higher. So all these things will happen. One more thing is, when there are so many people playing the market, in the sense somebody creates an index of the top 10, somebody creates top 10 equal weighted index, somebody creates equal weighted index. So why would you invest in an index which is market cap weighted? Why not in equal weighted? So there are so many theories today. Even on index fund, you will need an advisor to find you an index fund. Should you put in NSE or should you put in BSE? Should you put in top 100? Should you top 10? Or should you put in passive index fund only? Or should you put in an ETF? There is still a lot of theory with lot of index funds. So one of them could be a flexi cap fund, which has got nothing to do with the index. So
I'm going to take you back to a phase where a lot of active managing failed. Active management of funds failed. And the antidote to that active management was born in a value-driven active management approach. See, today we are picking on one fund, but actually it's a category. And the category was born with value discovery. Practically, Naren, seeded that first. And then you have a number of people who have done the same thing with their own branding. Like in my opinion, a good part of what PPFAs does is also value driven, entirely value driven. Leave the global piece out. The domestic is very tightly value oriented. Classic investing. Discovery started as classic investing. Today, all value funds have a little bit of license. They're bringing in a little bit of growth into the value fund. It's not completely true to label value investing at this point. But the moment you brought in value investing oriented funds, two things happened, Subra. One is they started falling less. And because they fell less, they started doing better than the benchmark. So the formula for active investing that will outperform index got a perfect fit in value approach. Until today, this has been working. And I believe that a sound value-driven investment manager will always, over the long term, outperform a benchmark because his sheer discipline buying will give you better returns. Relatively, I believe that index investing is not disciplined buying. You are going to buy expensive stocks all the time. And sometimes you are going to buy super expensive stocks along with inexpensive stocks. If an index composition at a particular point of time has 60% of super expensive stocks and 40% of value stocks, the mix doesn't favor you, then you are not maintaining the investment discipline that is respectable. Whereas in the other approach, chances are that he is not going to buy a stock if it goes up above a particular point. For example, a guy who has bought NTPC all the way up to 240 will not buy it at 350, he will sell it. The value manager will sell it. Whereas the indexing guy has no choice. So actually the value approach came as a very, very refreshing, reliable and a sustainable model of investing, and we have seen it.
correct.
We have seen the value funds of ICICI as well as the PPFA's Flexi Cap decisively prove that the value approach is any day better than investing.
Correct. Indexing.
Sorry, index investing. So, yet, when I see somebody say, oh, you do only investing, in index. You don't need to do anything beyond that. Or say that you buy next Nifty 50. This is a prescription that are very popular in recent times. My study of the index said that you should not go anywhere near it. But people are buying it like maniacs because indexing is safe.
Correct.
That is drilled into the head.
Correct.
It is easy to drill. So when you do brain dead investing in an expensive part of the market, you are taking too much risk in my opinion. And in my opinion, next Nifty is going to be a problem for a long time to come. It's not a problem that's going to solve in the next 2 quarters. But people have plugged it so deeply in the minds of ordinary investors who could have actually chosen a better model, which is more value oriented or safer, that they may not even come out of this. See, this is where the education is so wrong. And because you are conducting education in the name of index, people lap it up, no one questions that education because you are only talking about index. No, it's harmless is what is the popular perception.
Correct.
As a result of it, people take suboptimal choices. Like I told you, a student who is capable of scoring 90, aims for 70 or 60, could end up getting 40 also.
Correct.
The only consolation is the class average is 40.
Correct.
But that includes those who fail.
Correct. And those who are not capable of getting beyond 40.
So there is no connect to the investor's potential and is investing. That is my major problem with index investing. I believe that if you don't want index investing, at least come to the value school and find a few good people. At least stay there. Don't restrict yourself to something which is so suboptimal and